only limited cooperation. With 25,000 citizens in Libya, Turkey is mounting the largest evacuation in its history. It's also fielding requests for help from other governments. The EU is evacuating 10,000 of its citizens by sea and air. India itself has made plans to evacuate 18,000 nationals to neighbouring Tunisia and Egypt, but it's still unclear, or it's still waiting, in fact, for air and sea clearance. The US State Department says there are several thousand American citizens in Libya. As yet, it hasn't received permission to evacuate them via air charters. The first ferry with some 575 Americans was supposed to leave on Wednesday, but the departure has been delayed. The Chinese state media reports that 30,000 Chinese nationals were in Libya. Greek ships there are headed to the country and are prepared to collect half of the number. Well, thousands of Libyans are rushing to the border with Egypt, hoping to claim asylum there. Jamal al-Shayal reports now from Saloum on the Egypt-Libya border.
Thousands have come through this crossing, fleeing the violence racking Libya. They've taken as much as they can carry: televisions, refrigerators and washing machines. They don't know when it will be safe for them to return. They also brought with them horrific tales of mercenaries, airstrikes and bloodshed.
We do not know where they're coming from. They're not Libyans. They're African mercenaries. They're shooting people randomly. These people are trying to protect themselves from these mercenaries in places like Tobruk, Benghazi, Al-Baida and Drana.
Mobile hospitals have been set up to help those injured in the violence. Ambulances wait to take people for treatment, although facilities here are basic at best. So far, only Egyptians have been let through and a handful of Libyans. Reports are thousands remain injured on the other side of the border. Volunteers and charities have organized several convoys. Some have already made it into Libya, bringing much-needed medical equipment. There is also a severe shortage of blood, so they're carrying thousands of liters with them too.
The administration of the medical affairs in Matruh supported us with a crew of physicians. We prepared the intensive care unit for any emergencies coming from Libya. The unit is ready for anything, even for open-heart surgery, and the army has prepared a hospital near the port.
Both those going in and coming out are calling for help from the international community. Many feel that the plight of the Libyan people is being deliberately ignored and want to see concrete action on the ground to bring an end to the bloodshed. Jamal al-Shayal, AlJazeera, Saloum on the Egypt-Libya border.
Well, to New Zealand now, where police are saying 98 people are known to have died after a powerful earthquake. And they say there are grave concerns for more than 200 people who are still missing. Tanya Page reports.
Christchurch's iconic cathedral may now be a tomb for several people who it's believed were trapped inside. From the air, the wounds inflicted by Tuesday's earthquake run deep. With the arrival of hundreds of international rescue workers, this has become a huge operation, but the death toll is expected to rise.
Now we've got the capability of going out and doing searches in areas where there may still be people trapped that hitherto in smaller numbers that hitherto we haven't been able to address. So that's the first thing, and of course that will spread right across the city into the suburbs and areas such as that we haven't had the resources to do so far.
If you come into the suburbs, you realise just how widespread the damage is. This row of shops behind me survived September's earthquake, but now they've been ruined. And in a country where many people own small businesses, this sort of damage could ruin livelihoods. We found Lynn McKinney packing up her shop, but she's determined this won't be the end.
Definitely moving to new premises and, re-establishing my business. Got too much to lose. It's still a wonderful city. I know there's just absolute devastation in town.
The earthquake's effects were felt from coast to coast. 30 million tonnes of ice from the Tasman Glacier was sliced off. But closer to the epicentre, people are trying to get their lives back to normal. Basic services and supplies have been cut. Water, sewage and electricity has been severed in parts of the city, and fuel supplies have been running short. The central city is now a restricted zone. One of its tallest buildings, the Grand Chancellor Hotel, is expected to collapse, further hampering rescue efforts in the worst affected area. Tanya Page, AlJazeera, Christchurch, New Zealand.
And Andrew Thomas has just sent this update from Christchurch.
The rescue mission is still underway in Christchurch, but hope with every passing hour fades just a little more. 76 confirmed bodies now in this city's mortuary, but the expectation, the certainty that that number will rise as more bodies are recovered. Recovering the bodies is still not the top priority. They are still hoping there may be survivors underneath the rubble. But on Thursday, no sign of life whatsoever has been detected, despite dogs going out, despite cameras underneath the rubble. There's no voices under there that anyone has been able to detect. The New Zealand Rescue Service is supported here now by rescuers that have been flown in from all over the world. Japan in particular has sent a lot of rescuers here because they had so many of their citizens in Christchurch. There was an English language school in the Canterbury television building, which was one of the worst affected, one that has completely collapsed. And there were believed, it's thought, nearly 50 students, Japanese students, inside that building when it collapsed. And the Japanese government has a specialist search and rescue team working on that site specifically. But the New Zealand rescuers have moved on to other places where they think there is still a little more chance they may find survivors. But nobody has been pulled out alive from the rubble here in Christchurch since Wednesday afternoon. It's almost then 24 hours now since any survivors were pulled out from here. The Prime Minister has been commenting again on the situation here. He's also sent some of his ministers, and the Police Minister gave a press conference where she was talking about bodies she saw being pulled from buildings. But a desperate situation as the death toll looks certain to rise.
You're watching AlJazeera, still plenty more to come on the programme, including he was seen as the Western-friendly face of Libya. We'll look at how an education in Britain shaped the views of the man now backing his father's regime. And violent confrontations in Greece as anti-austerity protesters fight running battles with the police.
As the rain pours over Johannesburg, we'll keep your spirits up.
Well, across the Indian subcontinent, we are looking at more rain showers coming into the forecast, especially down towards the south. Take a look at the forecast map. You notice down towards the very southern part of the continent, very heavy rain showers are going to start to move up. After that, we are going to be seeing some clouds pushing up, especially towards parts of Hyderabad. For New Delhi, though, 22 degrees for you. You are going to be seeing some rain just to the north towards the Himalayas, as well as some heavier snow in the upper elevations. But good news for Sri Lanka. We are looking at partly cloudy conditions and very dry for you, so you can finally dry out from all that flooding you did have. Over towards Africa, we are going to be seeing some very heavy rain showers along the coast of South Africa, Durban, as well as Johannesburg. Your temperatures are going to get into the mid to upper 20s, but Cape Town is looking beautiful at 28 degrees. Madagascar, that is not a cyclone. We're still seeing a lot of tropical weather there, but the cyclone has passed, but flooding is still a big potential in their forecast. Up towards the Arabian Peninsula, temperatures are coming up. We are looking at Doha of about 27 degrees on Thursday, Riyadh about 31. Those temperatures are going to start to come up a little bit as we go towards the weekend. Notice here, Doha at 28, Riyadh at 33, and as we go a little bit further towards the north, we're going to be seeing Baghdad looking at temperatures of about 27 degrees for them.
Qatar Airways, world's 5-star airline.